Hey YouTube. Hey, I take a great deal of pride and effort in trying to answer pretty much every question I get on comment threads or private messages. And I will tell you though, sometimes, every once in a while, man, I will end up dealing with on a thread that just blows me away. And I honestly cannot tell if somebody's messing with me or if they are really just that thick and cannot get it. I just recently finished dealing with one of those that just turns me into grumpy cat. Um, I got a comment from someone on my latest video that said, hey, I sold some silver today and the Gold Center gave me a 1099. Really sucks. They do that. I've noticed nobody is talking about this on their stacking habits. I want to buy low and sell high, but it turns out the government is going to get in on the action. Well, I've made a couple videos on this topic, and I've clearly explained on the videos that we're all supposed to report income. But I've also explained the difference between what are reportable and what is not. And so I answered this guy back and I said one of two things must have occurred. One, you sold a gigantic amount of some of the very few items that are listed as reportable, or two, they made a mistake. The 1099B is rarely applicable. You can Google this and learn more. And then I went ahead and took the time to send him this link in case he can't find information on his own. And if you click on this link, it takes you to JM Bullion has a great page where they explain the reporting process when selling your bullion. And they talk about the two reporting obligations that bullion dealers have for customers buying and selling. They also go in and talk about the 1099B form and when it's applicable. And it clearly shows, and it coincides exactly what I've said in my other videos, which are there's only certain items that are that this applies to. If you're doing a kilo or more of gold bars, 1,000 troy ounces of silver bars, 25 troy ounces of platinum, 100 troy ounces of palladium, or if you're selling 25 or more 1 ounce gold maple leafs, 25 or more 1 ounce gold Krugerrands, 25 or more Mexican unzas, or 90% silver that has $1,000 face value, which of course is about, that is a ton of money, $1,000 face value of silver. And then this article goes on to explain that it has to be of sufficient quantity to qualify as a commodity contract. That's what all of those things I just read to you above, they would qualify as a commodity contract. Obviously, these things are not going to apply to 99.999% of any of us ever watching these vids. So I told him also, that you can Google, and all of us can Google it and look it up. And I Googled it, and the first thing I find is an article from Money Metals Exchange, which is a big dealer, and they explain in their article that 99.997% of the time they do not report purchases, and it says with one extreme exception for disclosure requirement to be triggered, both of the following conditions have to be met. And just as I've said in my videos, it has to be larger than $10,000 and the payment has to be made using actual cash. Exactly what I've said in my previous videos on this topic. They go on to explain that they use the form called the 8300 form if you're one of the 0.003% of the people that meet that criteria. And then they talk about sale of your precious metals. And once again, they go in and they start talking about the 1099B and how it only applies to $10,000 or more face value of silver, which at the time of this article would be $125,000 worth. And then they go on listing the other items, the sale of the gold bars totaling more than 1 kilo, or the 25 ounces or more of Krugerrands, maples, etc. The things that I said in my previous videos and on the link that I sent this guy. And then on top of that, then The KeoNet one also adds to the discussion. He tries to help the guy out and say, you know, you might want to look at Cole Silver's other videos, and it's also important that you know when you walk into a dealer what they're required to do. So KeoNet tries to give him some good info. And what is this dude's response? Cole Silver told me I didn't need to worry about 1099s. Turns out he was wrong. Well, anyway, and this thread just goes on and on and on. And slowly but surely, I start changing from trying to help educate somebody to Grumpy Cat starts coming out. The bottom line is this: some things in this community are definitely debatable. Is the economy going to collapse? Is gold and silver prices going to go up or down? But certain things are not debatable. Things like the law. And all of the reporting requirements are listed in the law. You can look up the 1099Bs and the Form 8300s and get educated for yourself. I need a drink.